Hello, this is Third Club, and today we are reviewing the 75312 Boba Fett Starship with 593 pieces and 2 minifigures, being Boba Fett for The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Mandalorian, of course. This set retails for $50 in the United States. However, there is a way you can get it cheaper, which is how I did, and I'll explain it later in the video. On the box art, we can see The Mandalorian, as this is a set from the show, and we can see the Starship itself flying around on this planet, which its name eludes me at the moment, but it's from the Season 2. Now, the name Boba Fett Starship, it's been a bit controversial because, of course, this set has been referred to as the Slave One for, like, about 20 years or so now. And then they changed it to Boba Fett Starship, and apparently they might want to be using the name Spitfire, which is the ship's technical name, like in universe, like the actual vehicle model. So I have no idea what's really going on with that, and I'll probably use a mix of all three names throughout the video. Spinning the box around, which is kind of hard to do. This thing's about the size of the light down to, like, whatever. Anyways, here we can see it parked, landed, I guess, and there's this little vehicle cart here, which we'll look at in a minute. There's play features shown here, including this one. I think the big one is that the cart is a stand. So, in terms of how you can get it cheaper, if you go to Costco, I can almost guarantee you'll find like a pallet's worth of these things on, like, for $38.99 is the price there. Although with like some places have like tax and whatnot, so it might be about $40. So you can get $10 off if you go to a Costco. Before the figures, I kind of wanted to just go into the manual and show you guys what's in the back, because I know some people are like, hey, what's in the back? Do we get a picture of the, like, what's it called, the Mando Forge? No, you will not find a picture of the Mandalorian Forge. Instead, you'll have a bunch of Mandalorian sets listed off here. I guess these are the newest ones. Although the Mando Forge figures are still in here. I don't know why they did that. Let's get into the figures. First off, we have the Mandalorian, who is a great figure. Nice to see him again with his arm printing that we saw in January when it was, like, debuted. This comes with a nice gray cape, a small blaster, and his Beskar spear. Removing the helmet. No face print yet, which is kind of weird because we've seen his face, like, on multiple occasions. So, I don't know what's up with that. It does not come with a jetpack. That will be in a later set, the Mandalorian Forge. But overall, it's still a nice figure. I mean, it's a repeat now, which is pretty neat to have a repeated arm-printed figure. Let's get into what's probably the highlight on the set for many people. And the highlight of the set to many people is, of course, Boba Fett for Mando Season 2. Look at this. He's got awesome arm printing. Like, I feel like the arm print alone, like, I was partially inspired to buy this just because of this, like, great figure. He comes with, like, this weapon, which you've seen in other sets. Strangely, his helmet and jetpack are not in the same color as his torso, so I'm not really sure what's up with that Lego. Hopefully redo that in like another set, maybe fix it up a little bit. But you can see like his torso is kind of like scratched up a little bit, so it adds some extra detail, or I just have an effective figure, one or the other. Overall, this is a really like awesome figure. I know like the helmet is probably, because it's a miscolored one, would detract for a few people. But I just love all of the details that they included on this, like getting a little like signet on his shoulder and the like flamethrower here. Like, this is a really, really good portrayal of Boba Fett, and definitely like helps out with the set and makes like gives you like a reason to buy it instead of it just being like, $50 tiny little Boba Fett Starship. Well, arm printed Boba Fett as well. Here it is, the Boba Fett Wait a minute, this isn't the Boba Fett Starship. This is the transport cart, which we've never seen in like in universe. This is kind of just a throw-in that Lego did, and it acts as a stand, as I'll show in a minute. But you can put a figure in here, like I'm gonna take it the Mandalorian, since this is Boba Fett Starship, not Din Djarin Starship. He fits in here rather nicely. You might have to flip up that cape or just completely remove it, but you can put him in. You can hold these controls and drive the little cart around. Let's get that out of the way. Here it is. This is the Boba Fett Starship, or the Slave One, or Spitfire, or whatever it's called. I honestly couldn't tell you. And I really enjoy this set. Like, for $50 or $40, that's how I paid for it. This is a really, like, action-packed set. I need to, like, move the camera a bit. It can be, like, from some angles, it might not look the best, like this one, where you can see, like, a cockpit gap. But from most, this thing looks great. It has these like folding wing parts, I guess, and they do go back and forth when you land it and pick it up for flight. We've got some stud shooters. And you can remove those. I've seen people who've modded this so that way they're gone. I mean, just by removing the red parts, I feel like they're a lot less noticeable. The ship is technically asymmetrical, like some colored pieces are switched around, but that's kind of just like, the ship isn't perfect. It's a bounty hunter ship. It's been on quite a few missions. It's a bit rough around the edges. There's a lot of stickers on the side, and you have to place them like close to the edge of the pieces to get them to really look nice. But if you apply them correctly, it looks great. We can take our Boba Fett figure and place him inside the cockpit here. Unfortunately, the control panel is like on the ceiling, and I don't think the back of Boba Fett's head like happens to have hands or anything on it, so I'm not sure how he's going to use that. You can fit him in here. You do have to fold down his rangefinder, seal him up, ready to fly. Oh, furthermore, going on the back here, where we have the engine details, when you're flying this set around, you can fold out an actual like little handle in here, which is a great inclusion. I remember at LegoCon they were saying like we wanted to include everything, so we included a carrying handle. So now you can fly him around. It works really well. Down here, like on this like sticking out part, I'm not really sure what it's technically called. It does have like a nice angle, which is accurate to the shows and movies. It has these nice moving cannons. They can't do like a full like rotation, which is kind of sad, because I do think there are scenes in like some movies or shows where it like folds down like this way, I'm going to say, like pointing with my thumb. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Alright, so one other detail in this set is that there is a ramp here. And actually, if you fold this thing up, you can hardly notice it. It contours with the set very well. And in here, there's nothing. That's because I took the cargo out already. It's a Gamorrean guard in Carbonite, and this looks really good. It goes along with the other Carbonite characters in the Razor Crest, and it slides in super well in here. I mean, I know it's not the same as if they made a completely new mold like the Han Solo and Carbonite piece, but I think that gets the job done. It's an extra little detail. It may not have been in the show, but it works well. I guess as long as you enjoy it. Whatever. Anyways, let's put this over here, and then we bring in the cart, which doubles as the stand, as I had mentioned earlier. We can set it up like this, which looks way better than having it just like landed like on a table or desk or wherever. Having it like this, like it's great. Having like a $50 or $40 set with a stand included, it just looks amazing. I'm like speechless because it works so well, I think, for this set. And it really like adds something to it that the other previous variants haven't really had, I guess, except the UCS one, which had to include a stand pretty much. But overall, I like the set. I think that if you can get it for $40, or even if you can't and you have to do it for $50, I think you're still getting a pretty good deal with this. Like when I originally heard about it, I was like, oh, it's probably just gonna be Han Solo and like Boba Fett and the tiny little Slave 1 set, and I will buy it maybe because it'll look nice with the other scaled down ships. And then they're like, oh, it's going to be a Mandalorian set, and I was like, oh, well, I'm a completionist, and I'm trying to get all the Mando sets. And having this in hand, I feel like even if you weren't trying to get all the Mando sets, you would still want to have this, unless you already have a Slave 1 set, in which case you might not want it. But overall, it's great. It's got a lot of playability. There's not too many issues with it that I have, except, like, I don't know, maybe because there's, like, such a big cockpit gap. I feel like that would be annoying, as well as the stickers, which curve around the pieces, and the stud shooters. But there's, like, so many, like, good things which can outweigh the bad, in a sense. So, yeah, I like the set. I recommend it to you guys. I really think, like, it's worth, like, looking into. Maybe even as, like, an investment item, getting this Mandalorian Season 2 Boba Fett figure. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Boba Fett Starship / Slave 1 / Spitfire / whatever it goes by now. And I'll see you guys in the next video very, very soon. Stay safe.